Hey there, I'm Daryl Ballard, and if you're here watching this video, I imagine it's because you were doing a little research on when you feel like quitting. So that's what we're going to talk about, specifically when you feel like quitting. Maybe you're starting a business or whatever, and you feel like quitting. Remember why it is that you started in the first place. Okay, now if you have not seen any of my videos before, you may not know that I put a lot of content on my channel about starting a business and escaping the rat race of the 9-to-5 job. So if that's something that you might be interested in, consider subscribing to my channel. There's a button in the corner there. And I also have a free course, the first link below. It's a 4-day course on how to start that successful online business, how I started my business. All right, so let's get started talking about when you feel like quitting, remember why you started. Now, I'm making an assumption here in this video, and that is that if it's something that you have started and want to keep doing, that it is something that you are passionate about and that you're representing a product or a service, if this is a business that you're doing, that you can really get behind, that you know is a good quality product and it's worth representing. If those aren't the case, quitting could be the wisest thing to do. Definitely do a little more research and figure out what you need to do. But assuming those things, probably it's something that you don't really want to quit. So let's get started about that. What do successful people think about? Successful people focus on the future. That means that they set goals and then they figure out the steps to reach those goals. That's what successful people focus on. They focus on the why they want to do what they want to do, and the what they want to accomplish. Okay, and I list them in that order because I think the why is actually more basic. It may not be the first thing we think about. We probably come up with the what first, but the why may be even more basic to getting our mind working the way we need to be successful. So they understand and they're very clear and concise on the why they're doing what they're doing and what it is that they want to accomplish. Now, the greater clarity you have in those things, in what you want and why you want it, the easier it is to figure out the steps that you need to do to achieve what you want to accomplish. Okay? Now, it is extremely important when you're going through this process to think on paper. Carry a little spiral notebook around with you so that you can write down what you're thinking about. Now, I have to admit that I often use something digital to do this, but it still needs to be thinking on paper. You actually need to be writing this. So get yourself a pencil, I think that Apple calls it, or whatever it is that you can write on your device, your phone or your tablet. It's extremely important that you're writing it in your own handwriting. It connects the dots in different ways when we go through the process of actually writing it out in our own handwriting. And besides that, when we go back and read it, reading it in our own handwriting is completely different. Again, connects the dots in a different way than if we have it typed out or copied and pasted in. Okay, so think on paper. I want to emphasize this fact. I want to quote Brian Tracy here, and he says, "A goal that is not written down is just a wish or a fantasy." Okay, get those down on paper in whatever way you do it, but make sure you're actually writing it down. He also said one of the biggest reasons we quit is vagueness and confusion in our goals. So it's extremely important to understand those goals, to work through this process, and to think about it and think on paper. All right, so you have thought about quitting, happened fairly recently. What are the steps that you can do when those kinds of things come to your mind? Okay, we're going to do 6 steps here. 6 steps that you can do to help yourself not quit, and remember why it is that you started. The first one, the hardest step to take is the first one. You've got your steps written down. You're very clear on your what and your why, or your why and your what, and you have your steps. You start on that first step. The first one is the very hardest one to do to get yourself started. And so often we're waiting around for the perfect time to start. You know when the perfect time to start is? The perfect time, once you have your thinking clear, is now. Do it now. If there actually is a more perfect time later on, great, no problem. You're already started anyway. You may have to do some minor changes in course, but you're already on your way. You're farther along because you started back then and not when what now appears to be the perfect time. The perfect time really is now. Get started, and that's the hardest one, that very first one. Number two, after you finish with that first step, determine what the next most important step is in your list of steps and do that one. All right? Number three is be consistent. Keep doing one step a day, one step a week, whatever your pace is. Keep doing little bits at a time. All right? It's important to be consistent and keep doing, even if it's just a little bit, that you're taking little steps toward what it is that you want to accomplish. Number four, don't overdo it. You don't have to build it all in one day. I think there's a saying about that in the city of Rome. It wasn't built in a day. Don't try to do it all at once. Little steps at a time. All right? If you overdo it, you'll get burnt out, much more likely to quit. Number five is a question you can ask yourself when you start to feel like, I want to quit. Ask yourself this question: how many people quit just one task away from becoming successful? Or maybe even just a few little tasks away from being successful? Ask yourself that question, because so many times I think we get close to that line and we quit before we actually get there. Okay? And number six, this is something to look at if you start to feel like, I just can't get it. There are too many skills, too many things that I'm not sure I know how to do. And that is, all business skills are learnable. And when I say all business skills are learnable, not only do I mean all of them, but I mean you don't need a master's degree or even a 4-year college degree to learn these skills. And you also don't need that genius level IQ. Normal, ordinary people can learn with the educational things that are available out there online. You may have to look for a while. Sometimes it takes a while, but all business skills are learnable. Okay? Now, especially if you've been having trouble feeling like you wanted to quit, definitely in the comments below, tell me if this was helpful. And if you like the video, give me some thumbs up and share it with somebody else, because a lot of people quit every day. Share it with somebody else. I know you know somebody that this could be helpful for. Okay, and don't forget, getting off the treadmill of the 9-to-5 job. That's what my channel is about. I put up lots of content and the free 4-day course on how you can develop your own successful online business. Check that out if you want to. Okay, I'm Daryl Ballard, and we will see you on the next video.